Okay. Okay, so yesterday we discussed sending letters, post in the mail. Yeah? Siman Reish Mem Zayin, the Shulchan Aruch designates an entire chapter, a siman, for these halachas. So we said yesterday, is it mutter to send mail Erev Shabbos before Shkia, right before Shabbos, drop that envelope in the mailbox, and you know that they're going to come pick it up on Shabbos and send it away on Shabbos. They're going to be working on Shabbos. Right? So, what could be the potential problem? Potentially the problem could be Amir al-Akum, it's Shlichus. You're putting an envelope in the mailbox knowing that they're going to pick it up on Shabbos, Samach L'Shkia. So it could be a problem of Shlichus because they're coming and taking your mail on Shabbos, and you knew when you put it into that post box that they're going to pick it up on Shabbos. So we said the halach is that it's mutter because there's a stamp and you're paying them for the job, so it has a din of kotzatz, you're paying them for the job, so it's mutter. And secondly, you are not telling them when to take the mail on Shabbos. You're not telling them to take the mail on Shabbos. They can do whatever they want. Their schedule is that they come pick it up on Saturday. But if it would be on Sunday, you wouldn't call them up and say, hey, pick it up tomorrow. You know, I need it done by tomorrow. You would go to the post office and send first class mail. But because you don't send the first class a special delivery, you're just putting it in the post box. You don't really care if they're coming tomorrow or the next day. So you're not telling them to come on Shabbos, even though you know that they're going to come on Shabbos and pick it up. So therefore, it's no problem.
If you do send it first class, then you can't.
1 second, we'll discuss that in a second. There's no problem putting it in the post box before Shabbos, Samach L'Shkia, even though you know that they're going to come pick it up the next day. Now, what if you do send it first class, or you FedEx it? We say Federal Express, FedEx, you FedEx it or UPS, right? And you know you want it to be an overnight delivery. You send it Erev Shabbos, and you tell them, listen, it's got to be there by Matzah Shabbos, right? So there, of course, it's aser. You're telling them to carry this mail for you on Shabbos. And you're specifically telling them, take it from me on Shabbos. So you might say, well, I'm not really telling them to take it on Shabbos. I'm just telling them it has to be there by Matzah Shabbos. I'm not really saying the words. Right? Doesn't really help. Because they can't do the job that you requested unless they work on Shabbos, then that's called Amir al-Akum, and it's also to send a special delivery, overnight delivery, if it's right before Shabbos, knowing that they're going to deliver on Shabbos.
So
yes.
if you went like an hour or two right before Shabbos, you could have got a helicopter over to the place and delivered it.
No, you're asking a very good question. Yeah. What if technically they could have gotten a Concorde jet and flew over to whatever the United States or wherever you're sending the mail to, and they had enough time before Shabbos just to do that? So do we say, well, it's their decision, it's their choice. They didn't do that, so it's up to them. I didn't tell them not to do it on Friday, rather do it on Shabbos. The answer is, of course it's usher. Why? Because it's self-understood that for the 35 cents or pence you're paying for that envelope, nobody's going to take a Concorde jet and fly over there, right? They're going to do their job. They can take with everything else. So if you tell them, listen, I'm paying you 100,000 pounds, please get it over there right before Shabbos, and they're deciding on their own to do it on Shabbos, that's something else. But for the amount you're paying, right, it's expected that they're going to take it with all the other mail on Shabbos. So therefore, it's usher. The Mishnah Berurah gives another case. The Mishnah Berurah actually discusses it. Let's say, he gives another example of, let's say you're telling them to do a certain job, and logically speaking, they can't accomplish that job unless they work on Shabbos. So we'll say, maybe if they're up all night before Shabbos, Laz Shishi, right, and they're working the whole night, then they could technically finish it before Shabbos, so it should be okay. And Mishnah Berurah says, we don't say that. We don't say because they could technically finish it if they work all night, because people don't do that. We have to go with the derech ha'olam. Whatever the derech ha'olam is. If they usually send it out on Shabbos, you tell them overnight delivery and they work on Shabbos, so then that's awesome. We said b'shas atchak, he could be mekel. The Hilchss Yitzchak brings the Shos Yaakov that he has a few tzirufim lahakol. One of them is the Chavos Yoel, which the Mishnah Berurah brings the Siman Shin Zayin. The Chavos Yoel learns that Amir la'akom is also when you're telling the guy to do malacha for you. But Amir la'amira, if you're telling a guy, and you know that guy is not going to be the one doing malacha for you, that guy is going to be telling another guy, and the other guy is going to be doing malacha for you. According to the Chavos Yoel, that's not a problem of Amir la'akom. Sorry about this. So the Avodas HaGershuni, the Mishnah Berurah brings the Avodas HaGershuni, which says that it is a problem, it's aser. But the Derech HaChaim, he brings from the Sefer HaChaim, that says that B'makam Hefsid, you could be sung on Chavos Yoel, and therefore the poskim use this Chavos Yoel to be matter, even a special overnight delivery, a first class delivery, Because when you're speaking to the postman or whatever, the teller behind the counter telling you that you want a special delivery, overnight delivery, she's not going to be the one delivering that mail for you. Right? She's going to be giving it to somebody else. That's considered amira la amira, and therefore it's no problem. Another tzir, if they want to be matir, is lahakol, overnight delivery, is because the guy's going there anyway. Right? We spoke, the guy's going there anyway. If the guy's doing it anyway, then it's mutter. So that we said, it's not so pashut. Why? Because he might be traveling overseas, to that country which you need this piece of mail delivered, but when he goes out of the car and delivers your piece of mail to the building that you want it to be delivered to, so that's special for you. That's not, he wouldn't be going there anyway, right? That's a hitzah he's doing for you. So that's not so simple, unless he has other mail for that apartment building, right? And other people live there, then we say that perhaps it's mutter because of it. Another smach Hilchss Yitzchak mentions is, somebody told me yesterday, that first class delivery doesn't always get delivered overnight. Sometimes they could take 2 days before they deliver it. If it's a special delivery, then they have to. It's guaranteed. But if it's first class delivery, first class mail, then if it's a busy season or something, then they don't deliver it overnight. They could take 2 days. So the Hilchss Yitzchak says, since sometimes they could take 2 days to deliver it, so even if you sent it out on Friday, that's not a problem. Again, it's only a tzira flakal when you have such a svara. We also spoke yesterday about having newspapers delivered to you on Shabbos. The guy comes special to deliver a newspaper for you on Shabbos. So if it's a daily newspaper, then you're telling the guy, basically your contract is, right, you're ordering every single day, a guy should come and deliver you a newspaper. So if they come on Shabbos and deliver that newspaper on Shabbos, it's a miralakum, shlichus. They're doing it special for you. Right? They're coming, delivering your daily newspaper. And you can't tell me that you're not telling them to come on Shabbos, they can come on Sunday. Because if they bring you the Saturday news on Sunday, you'll fire them, right? You want the Saturday news on Shabbos. So you want them to come on Shabbos. So basically, they're coming for you and delivering your mail on Shabbos. That's shlichus. So we said that's asur. Again, unless you're living in an apartment building and they're bringing mail for other people as well into that building, then perhaps you could be mekel.
Neighbors?
Well, if the neighbors live, not in the same building, then again, they're going to your house with that paper special for you. So that's considered doing malacha special for you.
But the guy delivering it won't be probably one of you. Like, it's his boss telling you to do it.
It's amira la amira.
Yeah.
So you'll have that also. Again, you have that also, correct. But we're not saying that like a tchila. It's only b'shas atchak. I don't know what b'shas atchak would be in such a case. You need the paper. Okay. There's an interesting Marsham. The Marsham discusses a shaila. Are you allowed to send a guy to a different town that he should mention your name for a tzaddik? You want the tzaddik should have you in mind by Shabbos Shem and Esrei, you're not feeling so well, and you want that the tzaddik should be a spell for you. Are you allowed to send a guy, b'shlichus, the guy should travel for you, and be mazker yourself for a certain tzaddik? Nowadays would be a practical case of this example would be, let's say, you call Eretz Yisrael, right? Eretz Yisrael, it's Matzah Shabbos already, and by you it's still Shabbos, but you know that someone really is sick, and they need a refuah. So you'll have a guy call Eretz Yisrael that someone should run into Reb Chaim Kanievsky and mention your name, and mention his name. So in Eretz Yisrael it's already after Shabbos, but by you it's still Shabbos. Are you allowed to tell a guy to call? So usually for refuah, Amir Lakim is mutter. Amir Lakim, especially if it's Chodesh B'Zakon, it's for sure mutter. But here the question is this considered refuah? It's a zgula, it's like, you're telling a tzaddik to be a spala for you. Could be matter, just the tefillah of a tzaddik could be matter Amir Lakim to tell a guy to call, Eretz Yisrael, someone should go to Rabbi Yashiv and mention your name. So the Marsham, he brings from Reb Shlomo Kluger, he brings that there was a dayan in the times of the first Belzer Rebbe that was matter a guy. He allowed for a guy to be sent to the Belzer Rebbe and basically doing malach, writing his name, whatever it is, on Shabbos, So the Belzer Rebbe should have him in mind during davening. So he should have a refuah shalema. The Belzer Rebbe heard about it. The Belzer Rebbe was very upset. The Belzer Rebbe said, now, I really have to make sure that he has a refuah shalema. I really be mispal from, otherwise it's Chil Shabbos. And the story goes that he had a refuah shalema because the Belzer Rebbe didn't want him to be Mechal Shabbos retroactively because he had sent the guy. But the Marsham says that it's avada osur. You're not allowed to do that. Unless it's for real refuah purposes, then you're allowed to send a guy with a ksav or whatever, with your name. Or a lamashal, let's say you have a chayla, certain chaylim, right, they get all anxious, and if they know that a tzaddik is mispalel for them, then they feel good. It's just a psychological thing. It's not so much because the tzaddik's tefillah is going to help, it's because they feel better, that knowing that someone, a tzaddik, knows his name. So that's also considered the Makom Refuah, where it's mutter that the place come a matter. But stam to go and send, if the chayla, it doesn't really make a difference for the chayla, just think that the tzaddik will be able to be pilot with his tefillas, although we believe that I'll be able to be pilot with his tefillas, we say that it's aser. By the way, I just finished off with a cute story. I heard the other night about Rabbi Kanievsky. Did I tell you the story already? Rabbi Kanievsky, Allah Shalom, when she had one of her children, she was very weak afterwards. So Reb Chaim was determined, Reb Chaim Kanievsky, her husband, was determined to take the night shift, allow her to sleep and take the night shift. But she said, of course, Eishes Chayil Miyimsa, she says, no, it's going to disturb your learning the next day. If you're not going to sleep at night, I don't want you to stay up all night, I'll stay up. And he says, no, I want you to get some rest, you're weak, just had a baby. Anyways, could you imagine such Shalom Bayis problems? They're fighting who should go to sleep. So they went to the stipler, Chaim's father, and they presented the shayla. Chaim said, listen, I want to stay up and let my wife sleep, and she wants to stay up to let me learn the next day, so I should be able to sleep. So the stipler said, this is too difficult for me to answer. You have to go to Rabbi Yashiv, to Chaim's father-in-law. So they went to Rabbi Yashiv, and Rabbi Yashiv thinks about it. And he says, it's too difficult for me to answer. This is a real difficult shayla. He says, why don't you go to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach? So they go to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, and Shlomo Zalman says to them, he hears the shayla, he says, she wants to stay up, and he wants to stay up, and they can't come to an agreement. So Shlomo Zalman asks them, did you think about being mispalel, davening that the baby should sleep through the night? And look at each other and says, no. Shlomo Zalman goes into a room, he brings out 3 tehillims, and he hands one to the Rebbe Kanievsky, he hands one to Reb Chaim, and he takes one for himself, and they all 3 sit down, and they begin to be mispalel, that everyone should be able to sleep, and you guessed it, the rest of the story is that the baby slept through the night, and they all got their rest. But anyways, that's the Kaichat Tefillah. So we're not saying that we don't believe in the Kaichat Tefillah of a tzaddik, that if he's going to be mispalel for a chayla, it's not going to help. It definitely might help. But in terms of halacha, is that considered refuah, which will be matter a mir l'hakam for? Absolutely not. Okay.